Hello students. In today's session, let us discuss about the structure of cell wall followed by cell membrane. Cell wall is found in mononeurons as it is not made up of cellulose. It is composed of peptidoglycan or muramic acid. Then in protists, chrysophytes have siliceous cell wall. Dinoflagellates have stiff cell wall, but the main compound is cellulose. Then slime molds will have chitinous cell wall. As you come to mycota, fungal cells are also protected by chitinous cell wall. But well-developed cell wall having most of the functions as protective and helping in transport that we found in plants. In plants, the cells are protected by cell wall which is discontinuous having cytoplasmic connections. These are called plasmodesmata. Primary cell wall is composed of cellulose. For mechanical support and to give more protection, cellulose is deposited with different compounds, either hemicellulose or pectin or lignin or cutin. Accordingly, we call pectinized cell wall, lignified cell wall, cutinized cell wall. Now all these compounds present in the cell wall are hydrophilic. They allow water molecules to pass through, but if there is a deposition of suberin, if the cell wall is suberized, suberin is impervious to water and hence water unable to transport. Through plasmodesmata, anything can pass through. Hence, the nature of cell wall is said to be fully permeable. Between two cells, there is a cementing substance that I already told you in previous session. It is known as middle lamella. It is composed of either calcium pectate or magnesium pectate. This you have to remember for 1 mark. Then, primary cell wall composed of cellulose. Secondary cell wall is either deposited with pectin or with lignin or with cutin or with suberin. Accordingly, we call, already I mentioned, pectinized, lignified, cutinized and suberized. With this, I have completed cell wall. Let us move on to the next protective layer around the cytoplasm, also helping in movements of the particles which are necessary for the cell and the molecules which are moving outside the cell. They are also passing through these cell membranes. This cell membrane is known as plasma lemma, or it is said to be plasma membrane. To explain the structure of plasma membrane, various scientists put forth their hypothesis. Out of that, the most accepted model to explain chemical as well as physical nature is fluid mosaic model. It is proposed by Singer and Nicholson. According to them, cell membrane is composed of a bilayer of phospholipids. There are two lipid layers with phosphate groups. They are arranged in such a way that polar heads of lipid molecules are exposing outside and hydrophobic tails face each other. The polar heads are allowing the water, but hydrophobic nature of the tail will not allow the water to remain for maximum time within. Between these bilayer, there are proteins. Some are globular giant molecules which are penetrated deep inside the cell membrane. These are called intrinsic proteins. And the proteins which are associated on the outer surface of the cell membrane, these are called extrinsic proteins. Intrinsic proteins are helping in transport of molecules, hence these are transporting passages. Extrinsic proteins, they are mobile proteins. They are not fixed at particular position and they are always associated with oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharide is carbohydrate which always attracts water soluble molecules. So whatever molecule wants to enter, it has to bind to the oligosaccharide, and then surface carrier proteins will bring them. These are extrinsic. They will bring them to the intrinsic proteins, and then intrinsic proteins allows these molecules to pass through. Now, when similar kind of molecules are moving through these channels, we call uniport. When different kinds of molecules together they are moving through this passage, then it is known as symport. And the molecules in opposite direction passing through the same channel, it is known as antiport. So during transport, we can see these three pathways: uniport, symport and antiport. Now, there are some components which can easily diffuse from higher concentration to lower concentration, but water soluble molecules has to pass through this cell membrane if it allows. Hence, the nature of cell membrane is said to be semi-permeable membrane. So, as per the name given by Singer and Nicholson, fluid mosaic. Fluid refers to flexibility of the lipid layer, and mosaic refers to distribution of the proteins over the surface of the lipid molecules. You can just try to imagine the view. If you throw thermocol balls or ice blocks in the water, they will not sink down. They just float on their own on the surfaces. So when you are looking when you are looking the surface of this water, the water refers to the lipid arrangement, and the thermocol balls or ice blocks refers to protein molecules. This is the best example to understand the arrangement of phospholipids, proteins and oligosaccharides. I'll give one more example to understand it in more clear way. Around a big VIP house, around the big bungalow, if the VIP is staying inside, there is a compound wall with the gate, and on the gate always security is sitting. Visitors has to report the security, then security will open the gate, then only visitors are allowed in the bungalow to meet the VIP, like that. The cell membrane is a compound wall having numerous gates, and these gates are known as intrinsic proteins. Security you can compare with the extrinsic proteins. So any molecule wants to enter or wants to go out has to consult the security, that is extrinsic proteins. They should be always friendly with the oligosaccharides, which will bring them towards the gate, and when the gate opens, then only the molecules can enter inside or can go outside. I already told you three pathways involved in the transport of water soluble molecules during facilitated diffusion: uniport, symport and antiport. Now let us study one by one functions of cell membrane. Number one, it gives maximum protection and covering to the protoplast, inner cell mass. Second, it helps in transport of molecules. When molecules are utilizing ATPs are energy molecules. They use it, means cell membrane is spending ATP for the transport of molecules, then we said to be active transport. And when the energy requirement is not there, but molecules can easily pass through, then it is called passive transport. Solid particles entering through the cell membrane by phagocytosis, engulfing solid particles by the cell membrane. It is known as cell eating. And when the liquid particles are entering or engulfing by the cell membrane, we call pinocytosis. It is called cell drinking. Cell eating, phagocytosis; cell drinking, pinocytosis. Apart from that, cell membrane is maintaining internal pressure, temperature, pH, that is osmoregulation, by controlling the movements of the molecules. With this, I'll conclude here with the two structures learned today, that is cell wall and cell membrane. In next session, let us study endomembranous system, which comprises membrane-bound cell organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosomes and the vacuoles. With this, I'll conclude here. Thank you.